With this presentation in Hellenism Part II, we need to discuss the changes and advancements in art, science, and religion as we transition away from classical Greece into what is known as Hellenistic Greece. For this presentation, we're probably just going to focus on largely the art, and we'll talk about the changes in science and religion in class. Just bring your notes with you to class as always, and you should be fine. In this transition from the classical style to Hellenistic, we see more of a focus on realism. Instead of idealizing the Greek form, modeling it after a god or a goddess, you see more of an attempt to depict life as it actually exists in this artwork. As you'll see in some of this artwork, some of the samples that we have for you that we're going to take a look at, it's almost like a photograph, almost like a snapshot that they're trying to take in either a painting or, as we're going to see, in sculpture. Aside from this, we also have advancements in engineering and warfare, catapults, quinqueremes. Now, if you remember your triremes during the Persian Wars, those were rowed warships with 3 rows of oars. Well, these have 5, so we do see some other advancements there. And as we left off last class, we have the emergence of monarchies rather than democratic rule. So let's start talking about the shift in art, because after all, guys, taking a look at art of a certain time period gives you a window into what is important and what we can say about that society. Now, this depiction right here is, this statue of Zeus does not survive. This is an artist's rendition of what we think it looked like based on descriptions from various sources, including Herodotus. But if you notice, it is that idea. This is not Hellenistic. This is classic. This is archaic age Greece, where we see the statue of Zeus being erected. But it is that idea of the perfect form. Not a whole lot of detail, not a whole lot of expression. The purpose of a sculpture like this is to be awe-inspiring, to even oftentimes intimidate foreign dignitaries or anybody that may visit this statue at Olympia. That's what it used to be. That's what the focus was in the earlier stages of Greece, say before and during the Persian Wars, for example. And what we're going to see now is something start to develop that's different. Now, these are 2 from the classical era, the pre-Hellenistic era. We have the bronze charioteer on the left, and you have Myron's Discobolus on the right. Now, if you look at both of these, if you look at the faces right here, what it tells you is that there's little emotion in these faces. You know, I mean, the person about to throw this discus, he's not grunting or anything. You know, it's not very accurate. Okay. Ultimately, both of these, particularly the Discobolus, it's almost an awkward position. If a human being was to line up and do this exact position, it wouldn't be the correct position for throwing a discus. However, both of these statues both have good body proportions, so they're to scale. I mean, these could actually be, you know, as far as the size of arms to legs to torso ratio, size of the head and everything, it's fairly accurate. Especially looking at the one on the right with Myron's Discobolus, you can really see the desire for perfection. It's not a desire to necessarily capture realism. This is that old idea of capturing what is the ideal athlete in this case. The human qualities, the little imperfections that make us all individuals, really gets lost in this sculpture. It's attempting to capture that moment right before, as a discus thrower goes back, right before they start to go back forward and swing their body around and throw the discus. But you can see here that there's really not any strain. There's really not, you know, these tight muscles. He's not grunting or groaning as he would be preparing to do. He's a little off kilter here with his feet. So it's an attempt at idealism. It's a good attempt. It's from classical Greece, but it does not show or depict that realism. And that's what we're going to see with these next two slides. You're going to see a shift in Hellenistic culture and beliefs and art and architecture into the realist, making things look like they actually are. This is Hellenism, and you can start to see the differences. The Laocoon, this is actually a Roman copy of a masterpiece of Hellenistic sculpture, but it still tells you a lot about what Hellenistic culture looked like. Laocoon is a Trojan priest of Poseidon. This whole scene that's being depicted here happens during the Trojan War. So once again, we're going back to Homer, which was during the Archaic Age, but we're presenting it in a new style of art, in a new form. What happens with Laocoon? He's the priest of Poseidon, but as you can see depicted here, Poseidon sort of sicks this serpent snake guy on him and his sons to kill them, and he does. Laocoon, interesting side note here, is the priest that tells the city of Troy not to trust the Trojan horse, as they send the Trojan horse in, and then all the soldiers hop out and they take the city of Troy. It is Laocoon where we get a famous line that we still use today. It's not the exact words that he says, it's sort of evolved over time, but the old saying of "beware of Greeks bearing gifts," going back to the idea of the Trojan horse and ultimately ending up losing the city of Troy. As far as the style here, you can see strain, you can see emotion on the guy's face as far as what is happening. You can see almost this sick, like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening, get this off my foot, get this off my foot, sort of style that we are seeing here. It's an action shot. It's realistic. That's what the focus of Hellenistic sculpture is. One of the most famous pieces of Hellenistic sculpture is what you see right here. This is the Boxer of Quirinal. It's Hellenistic. It's 330 BC, and it depicts a seated boxer. And what you see about this is it really tells a story. You can see right here, it looks like he's recently just had a boxing match. His hands are taped. He's that classic top-heavy boxer style of body with the very powerful arms, broad shoulders. But look at the face. I mean, this is not a young 18-year-old boxer. This is an old, beaten-down, weathered boxer that looks like he just had sort of his last boxing match ever. If you look closely, and it's hard to tell, I know, looking at this thing on YouTube, but if you look at the nose, he actually has a broken nose. Try to meet a boxer that doesn't have a broken nose. If you look even closer, this is his ear. This is not a normal ear. This is, a lot of wrestlers get this too, where the cartilage gets destroyed in your ears and you get what's called cauliflower ears. Once again, this is not epitomizing this great hero or this great athlete, sports athlete, or anything like that. This is a broken down, old, defeated man that, like I said, probably just boxed his last match. This is Hellenistic, okay? This, compared to that statue of Zeus, almost doesn't look like the same culture, but it is. If you look even closer, if you look like here and here, what you see even is bruising in his face, like he just got the crap kicked out of him. It's hard to tell once again, but you can even see on his legs, if you look at this thing close up, once they've restored it, they actually laid in an extra area of copper on this statue to simulate blood drops. He's got blood all over his body, probably from his opponent. Also, look at the pose of the boxer. I mean, if you ask any great athlete, this is not the most flattering depiction of a boxer. He's sitting down, his muscles are relaxed, he looks tired, beaten down, and it's almost like, you know, he's not seated like Zeus was, looking forward and looking out above everybody. He's looking back, he's looking over his shoulder, possibly looking back at his own career, maybe as he retires, looking back at the person who perhaps just beat him in a boxing match. We don't really know. It's sort of up to the eye of the beholder. Okay, we're going to pick up in class with this part here. I just wanted to really give you a good idea of that Greek art. Greek art, whenever you're studying art, is tough to get. We can talk about the rest of this in class next time, so be prepared to go ahead and add some to your notes here. But art is difficult to get, so if you need to, go back and look at this again. Hey, that's why I posted it. See you in class. See you next time. Thanks for listening.